Radio. You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
You've had a long day at work, and you can't wait to just get home, take off your shoes, plop yourself down in your favorite chair, and relax. You walk up to your tranquil residential home and your neatly manicured lawn in your quiet suburban neighborhood, put the key in the lock, open the door, and... Yes, the pets have gone wild! What were you thinking? Welcome to the show about everything you always wanted to know about exotic pets. Where to get them, what to feed them, and how to care for them. You'll even find out why some people live with a monkey. Now, here's your host, exotic pet expert and author Bob Tarte. Hey, Bob, what were you thinking?
Hello, and welcome to another installment of Pet Life Radio Presents What Were You Thinking? With Bob Tarte
presents
and book character
Bill Holm.
And you are listening to our special Nayanquing Point, Tawas Point, Pointless Featherbrained podcast.
Whoa.
And we are, Bill, would you like to say, I'm here with book character Bill Holm. Where are we, Bill?
I've been asking that for a while. It looks like we're at Nayanquing Point, where you just said we were. And we're here to see the Yellow-headed Blackbird.
Yeah, and we were going to treat you to a show live, so to speak, from the top of the Nayanquing Point Tower. But unfortunately, there's people on it.
And nobody wants to hear this live, much less recorded.
No, but we'll get to that in a minute because I have a little surprise for you when it comes to that.
Oh, really? I don't know anything. I don't know anything about this, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope. But
it's going to be a surprise to me, too.
Yep. So we are here, of course, at Nayanquing Point, as we are every year, I guess, and looking for the yellow-headed blackbird and for any other birding goodies that will show up. And I want you to know, though, that we're still going to bring you all your favorite features. All the favorite features that you have come to expect from our podcast, including...
Which one? Name one.
Photography Corner. That's
very popular.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, of course, our favorite feature, Doesn't That Rock?
And what's that about? Is it about rocks?
Well, no, I mean, we've been doing it. You don't remember? We discussed
that's
Sir
right.
Richard Harris one, and Sir Harry Nilsson and another one.
That's right.
And, of course, a brand new feature we're going to...
Forgive me for forgetting.
Yeah, a brand new feature called What's New with Bill.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So
I'll have to think of something.
Oh, you don't have that prepared?
Well, I'll have to think about it.
What's new?
Not much.
Okay. That was What's New with Bill. I would like to welcome a brand new listener. Now, that's my surprise for you. We have a third listener.
No.
Yeah. Our first listener was first named Karen. I don't know if you remember several years ago. I don't know if Karen's still with us, but Karen was an early fan of the show.
Do you mean alive or just still listening?
Pardon me?
Well, go ahead. I mean, you said it was still with us. I didn't know what that meant exactly.
I don't either. I mean, I haven't heard from Karen in a while, but Karen was a regular listener, and then Laura stepped up, and Laura is a regular listener, and I mean to tell you that I got an email.
No.
Just a week ago from a listener whom I will refer to as Christina. And Christina...
Not her real name?
I will refer to her as Christina.
Okay, I won't ask any more questions.
And Christina said that she enjoys our podcast. She likes birds, and she enjoys our podcast. So welcome aboard, Christina.
Christina?
Yeah. So we are here dodging raindrops, wouldn't you say?
No, definitely.
Yeah. And I have not heard...
So far, so good.
I have not heard the yellow-headed blackbird yet. Have you?
No.
No. We're listening, though. And I looked on eBird before we came to see what kind of birds were being found here. And someone saw a Forster's tern.
See, which is unbelievable to me, because it's the subject of an amusing story that you can read about in Featherbrained.
That's right.
Bob Tarte's new book.
That's right. This is a special Pointless Featherbrained podcast, and Featherbrained is my brand new book about birding. Birds and birding, how I learned to bird, and just
birding?
Everything in between. Everything in between. Why I love birds and birding and everything in between. That's a gamut. It's a spectrum.
Well, it's chock full of fun stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff. And there's that funny story about the Forster's Tern in there. Yeah.
You'll have to buy the book to read it, however. It's worth the price of the book just to read that story.
Yep. Oh, I see the people are coming.
It's a heck of a story.
It's a heck of a story. It's almost as good as that story about the indigo bunting.
Well, it is a similar story.
Wearing a yellow raincoat.
Right.
That's you got to read that one. Before we get into Photography Corner, if you can wait a little bit longer for that, Bill.
Well, that's my favorite feature.
I wanted to talk about an embarrassing incident on our McGee Marsh trip.
Oh, are you going to talk about that?
Yeah, I'm going to mention that right now. I know you kind of wondered if I was going to talk about that or not, but
I thought we'd agreed, but go ahead.
Well, I get so pumped up seeing birds that when we get to our motel room, I can't sleep. So I have to take a sleeping pill. I'm just so hepped up seeing birds. But last time, I made a mistake, and instead of bringing Xanax with me...
What did you bring?
Methamphetamine.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Oh, God.
Oh, that was
a
funny.
Mistake. I was up all night.
Yeah, that was funny.
Mm-hmm. So let's get right into Photography Corner. Here, if you could hold this, and then describe what I'm doing. Just hold it down here and try not to touch anything.
Jeez. This is not going to work.
Okay, so if you want to describe what I'm doing now.
Well, he's got a camera in his hand, and he's opening something. A lens, is it? I don't know what it is. It's a ring. It's a hollow, it's empty. It's like a donut. I think they call that in photography the donut. And now he's got his finger. Okay, he's taking off the lens and putting on this. I think you got taken because oh, I see. And then you put that. What's the purpose of the ring?
There you go. And so now, with this ring, you know what this ring does? This is called an extension tube.
Excuse me. I just spit on the ring.
What this does is this converts a telephoto lens and turns it into a macro lens.
Uh-oh.
So that means, this is going to be pretty exciting, that now on today's trip, not only can I take photos of birds, but if I stop and put the ring on, I can take photos of any interesting bugs we find.
Oh, geez. I didn't know that. I did not know that was coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so that's a tip for people.
Oh, my gosh.
And so
I'm going to need a Xanax tonight.
And you know what this cost? $16. Only $16 to convert a telephoto lens to a macro lens. $16.
How does it work? All it is just like an inch-long ring that's empty inside.
Well, basically, all it does is it lets you get closer to what you're shooting with the lens. Because, with the telephoto lens, you got to step back about, your close focus is maybe like 10 feet or something. You can't get any closer.
Huh.
So with this, you can get up to within a foot.
Wow.
And you got all the magnification power of your zoom lens, and you're harnessing it for macro work.
This can't work. This sounds ridiculous.
It works great.
I think you got taken.
Well, you've seen my very
$16
popular bug photographs on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes. Yes.
And
everyone is clamoring for more.
Yes, they are. And that's thanks
and
to...
everyone is, what is this bug, you say?
Yes.
And then somebody chimes in and it's wrong. And then
everyone's always wrong.
Right.
Except for Darcy Clemens, who's right every time.
Okay, yeah. There's occasionally a right answer.
So that's
usually in Latin, too.
Yeah. So that's Photography Corner, and I have a loose end from... did you enjoy... I can see why this is your most popular. That's it. That's it. I will be... If you come to Facebook.com and go to my Facebook page, you will see...
Facebook.com? Is that different?
Well, I don't think you'll get there if you just type in Facebook. I think you have to put .com. If you go to my Facebook page, you will see some of my bug work.
Oh, well, I haven't done that.
Yeah, it's
and
worth
I better do that. I'm going to make it a point.
Yeah. So in between bird photos, you'll say, those are nice bird photos, but, what else you got? Well, I got bug shots.
Bug shots.
Yeah.
Well.
And I also have an update of photography.
I'm going to look on my phone right now.
Yeah, you could do that. I have an update to a photography corner from our McGee Marsh show. You remember I talked about bringing a flash attachment, that I was going to try some flash photography at McGee Marsh. Remember we had that little accident in the car where I tried the flash out and we were blinded?
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Couldn't see for like 5 miles.
Yeah, I should have done it while we were driving through a tunnel.
I know,
Anyway, I can't say it was a success because my camera, it's a Nikon D710,000, and it is the heaviest camera that Nikon makes, unfortunately. It weighs about 80 pounds. And that flash attachment was another 20 pounds. And
that's 100 pounds.
Yeah, and I just couldn't lift that camera.
Yeah.
So...
Not with your back.
No. So it was not a success, I wouldn't say.
Well, that's it? That's the end of the story?
Yeah.
Wasn't
so if you are
I'm speechless, obviously.
If you're a stronger person, I've taken with tripod-mounted shots of birds with the flash.
This is worse than I thought.
And it looked good. It worked fine. I mean, you got to know how to set the flash up. But I got great shots.
I don't understand.
So that's Photography Corner.
Actually, I wasn't even listening to the last story.
No. So that's Photography Corner, and pretty soon we are going
That's more like a whole room of photography, like...
It's like a corner in a round room.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Or an oval room. Or an egg-shaped room.
Well, more egg-shaped, I suppose.
So what's new with Bill? Let's go to this feature. What's new with Bill?
Well, still not a whole lot.
Well, next week what's new is you are going to be joining me at the DeGraff Nature Center, and it's too bad this is going to air too late for people from all around the country to flock to Holland, Michigan and see Bill Holm and me do a talk at the DeGraff Nature Center on featherbrain and on birding. Bill and I are there as birding experts.
Well, I think everyone should have gone.
I do too.
I mean, it was a great event.
Yeah. And now looking back, how come no one went?
I can't imagine.
How come everyone abandoned us? How come Christina wasn't there? Why didn't Laura come?
I don't know. Where are
Karen,
they?
You know, they could have come to Holland to see us.
Holland is a very nice town. It's known for the Tulip Festival.
And a little later, in our Doesn't That Rock segment, this is for the youngsters, we will be discussing Mr. Paul Simon. And an album he made when he was very young, 70 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, do you have that So Beautiful, So What album?
I believe I do.
Oh, all right. So we will be perhaps talking about that a little bit. All right. So Bill and I are going to now venture out into the raindrops, and we're going to look for our birds, and we will let you know how we do at Nayanquing Point.
All right. I look forward to that.
And you are listening to another fascinating... Hasn't this been good so far?
Oh, really?
Just the Photography Corner has been worth it.
You know, I don't think we've had a better Photography Corner.
I should take a poll. Should it be Photographer's Corner or Photography Corner? Let's let our listeners decide.
I say photography,
Okay.
but I'm just a listener, so I'm going to vote. How do I vote?
Let's ask Christina what she thinks. So shoot me an email, Photographer's Corner or Photography Corner.
Okay, I'll shoot you an email on that.
Oh, okay. I was talking to Christina.
Oh.
Okay, so you're listening to What Were You Thinking on Pet Life Radio. Could this be our worst show ever?
It's hard to tell, really.
That's right, that bar is pretty low. And we will be back after this exciting word from our sponsor with more live birding, or at least after live birding, at Nayanquing Point on the Saginaw Bay.
Yeah, right. See you in a minute.
What Were You Thinking? We'll be right back after Bob gets the ducks out of his living room. Don't go away.
Not pumped about cleaning the litter box? Try World's Best Cat Litter Zero Mess, the litter that gives you 2 times better clumping and more odor control with less litter. That's right, you scoop once and you're done. No chiseling, no scraping, no crumbling, no problem. Looking for fast and easy litter box cleanup? Zero Mess. Try it. You're welcome in advance. Save $2 on World's Best Cat Litter. Visit www.saveonworldsbest.com.
They called it elephant skin. It was rough, wrinkly, like a Brillo pad.
His hair was falling out in clumps.
Petey stopped eating and all his hair fell out.
Our golden retriever, Sundance, he scratched incessantly. There was hair all over.
DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa. The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Within 2 weeks, the shedding slowed down to almost none. The scratching went away after a few days, and Sundance's coat was starting to get shiny and glossy.
It's a 180 turnaround. His skin has cleared up. He's not in pain.
If your dog has shedding, dry skin, excessive scratching,
do the Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com. Okay, ducks are in the pond, rabbits in his hutch, and monkeys. Oh, in my car! Oh, okay, well, I go check my insurance policy. We'll turn you back over to Bob.
I'm here with Bill Holm again, Bob Tarte, and we are at Nayanquing Point. And Bill, would you like to describe what just happened?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. We've been looking all day for these things, and all of a sudden they pop up right in front of us. The yellow-headed blackbird.
And we got pretty good pictures of them, too. I mean, I'm surprised. We just braved some of the buggiest areas in North America, wouldn't you say?
The bugs were as dense as fog.
They were. In fact...
Pea soup.
In fact, Watson was following us for a while.
Oh, really?
Yes. But I'm hoping that
with a pipe?
I'm hoping the yellow-headed blackbird will call again, so that we'll be able to record that and get that on this podcast. But we are probably only 20 feet from them right now. I see them bouncing around in this tree.
Yeah.
I might just throw this recorder down to the ground in a minute to get some more pictures.
Why don't you?
Yeah. That would be just pleasant for our listeners anyway. But this is about the last place I expected to see them.
Listen to you. Hear that, ladies and gentlemen? They're right there. There's another one up in the tree.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is it close to us?
Yeah, it's just on the other side of the tree, so you can't see it.
But that's amazing, because here we were in the swamp looking for them.
Right, where they should be.
Uh-huh. And, I guess there is a cattail swamp just past us. If we were to take another couple feet, we'd be up to our waists in pond water.
I know, this is really getting dangerous right here. I'm getting a little concerned. I'm starting to feel sort of a sucking action under my feet.
Oh, that's NAFTA.
I know. And then the snakes.
I don't know what...
hanging from trees here.
I don't know what mad instinct led us here, except we did see a form of the goddess.
Yes, we did.
And I think the goddess...
She was a sign.
Yeah.
Hear that, ladies and gentlemen?
That is our yellow-headed blackbird friend, and I'm hoping it comes out in the open again. I can see it.
Maybe we can have a few words with it.
Yes, that'd be an interview.
That be great?
An interview. Now, let's talk about some of the other birds that we saw.
Well, I have a surprise observation about all that.
Okay.
I've gone birding with you a number of times with some success, but I think, and as is the theme of Featherbrained, about learning about birds, the journey. There's one, oh my goodness. That is just a gorgeous thing.
They're up here in the trees.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And there we were at Nayanquing Point, and I wasn't very optimistic. But then, after 2 hours and 23 minutes there, you wrung every bird out of that place.
I did.
You birded it out. There wasn't a bird left after you wrung them out.
I don't think there was. I think we got them all.
Wow.
We rung them like a bell.
I know. It was very impressive. Listen.
But we saw American Bittern.
Yeah.
2 of them.
That's the least of it.
That's the least of it, because we also saw
a least bittern.
2 of them. And that's our friend, I hope you can hear our friend there calling occasionally. It's
not in my stomach.
No, I was going to say, it sort of sounds like Sort of sounds like a a red-winged blackbird throwing up.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, but this is I'll say it again, this is the last place I expected to see them, because this is just some crazy little turnoff that didn't look promising, and it was guarded by...
Who's that?
There's one close by. They're up in the trees.
What are they doing in the trees?
Yeah, we
Maybe
expect birds to be up in
habits.
the trees. Just because we're here, they're changing our habits. Yeah?
No, I forgot what I was going to say.
There's some other little bird there. Yellow warbler and something else.
This is the kind of place where you think you might see like a yeti or something.
I know it. Almost anything could happen.
Sasquatch.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is just wild.
Let's see where that one is.
Bob, no.
Oh, there they are. They're fighting over there. I'll be darned. Well, this is pretty amazing. And so we saw marsh wrens, too. Got our first really good look at a marsh wren. And we're using, I should mention, I'm using an app that I hadn't used before called Track My Hike.
And how much
Map
you getting?
My Hike.
How much are you getting for mentioning this app?
Called Map My Hike.
Yes.
And what's it? Oh, what is that over there? Something over there,
This is
too.
like a ring of birds.
It is a ring of birds.
There's a sort of a...
fell into a singing ring of birds.
Oh, boy.
You can
We're in
sing
an
that better
open,
than
kind
I
of an open area, and then it's surrounded by trees with birds in them.
And a lot of the birds seem to be these yellow-headed blackbirds.
A lot of them are.
Yeah. We went through poison ivy to get here. We went through the game warden to get here.
Yeah.
And was it Officer Dibble? Who was the Jellystone Park ranger?
Oh, Ranger Smith?
Was it Ranger Smith?
I don't know.
Okay. Ranger. And but anyway, I was talking about marsh wrens. Marsh wrens are everywhere, and usually I don't ever get a chance to see a marsh wren, but just out of pure luck, the marsh wrens jumped forward and allowed me to take their picture.
Well, now. They also put their wings around each other and smiled.
Yeah. I don't think that there's a woman trying to get pictures of birds, and I don't think she'd like if we told her about this place. It's a little too secluded, isn't it?
No, she might get a little suspicious.
Yeah, she would.
It's only a little bit off the road, down this path that you can barely make your way through.
But I can't believe how close we are to these birds. We've only seen these yellow-headed blackbirds at a great distance before.
Yes, we were within 20 feet.
Yeah, I mean, we're within Pulitzer Prize-winning photo.
Oh, this could be it. This could be it for you.
This could be what finally snags me the H.L. Mencken Award. So we took our time, and it was a day that didn't seem to be very commentary. It didn't seem like it'd be very encouraging, because this is June 13th, and it's chilly.
It's 66 degrees.
It's 66 degrees. It might as well be a day in September. Try to remember.
Well, there's an overcast sky with sort of a threatening scud.
Yeah. Here come more yellowheads.
Yeah.
And I just thought this is going to be a bad day all around. But we did great. And so...
Well, you did, ringing every last bird out of everywhere you go now.
Well, it worked out pretty good. But you saw the bitterns.
I did.
We saw American bittern and least bitterns, as we said, and these are secretive birds that usually hide. But
they hopped right out.
Yep. How many marsh wrens do you think there were?
Oh, a dozen.
A dozen.
What would you say?
Oh, it's dozens. Well, a couple dozen. Nayanquing Point is on Saginaw Bay, and it is north of Ohio. And north of South Carolina, would you say?
Yeah, kind of northwest a bit, perhaps.
Okay, all right. And it's...
northwest.
Yeah. And it's kind of...
But it's south. Did you hear that?
Yeah. That's that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the yellow-headed blackbird. There's a yellow warbler right there.
It's south of Baffin Island.
It is. If you are going to Nayanquing Point and you find yourself on Baffin Island, please, ladies and gentlemen, turn around. Turn the car around.
Right. I mean, you're not going to see any yellow-headed blackbirds there, for one thing.
No. And we noticed the habitat has been cut down from past years, hasn't it?
It has. I wonder if that has anything to do with the yellow-headed blackbirds move to this area.
It could be, because this is still quite densely populated with greenery.
It is. There's a lot of greenery right here.
Yeah.
But I think it has more of a variety for them, like you were pointing out to our listeners about how the marshy area, reedy area, nearby, the wooded area, there's protection, there's this natural. I think this is just ideal for the modern yellow-headed woodpecker.
It is. The modern yellow-headed woodpecker and the modern yellow-headed blackbird.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think one of the reasons the blackbirds sound a little mad
like that
is because they're still waiting for your sonnet, your promised yellow-headed blackbird sonnet from last year.
Oh, yes.
And how is that coming? What kind of progress are you making?
I'm making pretty good progress. I'm still working on trying to iron out a few wrinkles.
Okay.
And
how many wrinkles should a sonnet have?
Well, it's like an A wrinkle and then a B wrinkle.
Oh, okay.
And then they kind of alternate for a while. So that's at least 2 wrinkles.
Yeah.
And then it ends up with some other kind of a wrinkle.
And among the other miraculous things we saw a field with several Caspian terns in it, right?
Oh, yes. There were dozens of Caspian terns. There's another yellow-headed.
Yeah. Yep.
And
after we're done with this podcast, we're missing the opportunity for some more Pulitzer Prize-winning shots just for the sake of our audience, because we want our audience to be here with us as we discuss the fine points of this. It's starting to rain a little bit, too.
Well, if you lose your Pulitzer because we're stopping and talking to our audience, then I think it's about time that you started to reevaluate your priorities. Because our audience, frankly, maybe I shouldn't get into it now, but our audience has been a little bit hostile lately.
They have, haven't they?
Yeah.
They have. But according to Map My Hike, which is not a sponsor of this show, and neither is Briskets to Go, your one-stop destination for the best briskets on planet Earth.
What's that phone number again, Bob?
We'll give the phone number at the end of the show, Bill. But Map My Hike said we walked 2.21 miles, and it took us 2 hours and 23 minutes.
That's better
I'd
pace.
say that's a good pace.
I know. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm huffing and puffing. It may only be 66 degrees, but...
There are these yellow warblers out in the open, too. You never see that.
No.
Just sitting out in the open, because this is a little wonderland here. I might try and get me a picture of a yellow warbler. All right. Okay. So we're about at the end of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, this one has zipped right by.
Yeah, I will wait till tomorrow because we have not yet gone to Tawas Point State Park, and that's going to be every bit as exciting as this show. Who knows what treasures? Oh, look at all these yellow warblers.
So there's going to be another podcast coming up?
Tomorrow.
Wow.
Yes, that's right, Mr. Yellow-headed Blackbird. That's right. And so...
Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio. So thank you for joining us in this exciting moment. I can't believe how close we were. And Bill is the one who said, he's right over there. He's right over there. And
you heard me.
I couldn't find it. And Bill said, what did you say again?
I said, what's that?
That's right. So thanks to Mark Winter for putting up the money for this exciting expedition to Nayanquing Point, south of Baffin Island.
Very generous.
Thanks to book character Bill Holm for joining me and driving me in Gus the Volvo.
Sure, Gus says you're welcome.
Thanks to Filler Incorporated for providing much of the content to this show. And I guess that's it. Email us at bob@petliferadio.com or put your name and address on a postcard and see if you can answer this week's contest question, and we will reveal the winners tomorrow's show.
Oh, okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Follow me on Facebook and visit me at bobtarte.com and look for my new book, Featherbrain, which is even more exciting than this podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thinking about buying a monkey? How about a ferret or a skunk? Then check out the show that will answer the burning questions. Where do you get them? What do you feed them? How do you take care of them? And most of all, what were you thinking? With exotic pet expert and author Bob Tarte, every week on demand from PetLifeRadio.com.